Yo, gang, what's happening? I'm back again, and today I am gonna be going over some pretty good builds that I would actually recommend for you guys in Modern Warfare 3. Um, I've just been experimenting around, just doing nothing with my life, like usual. So, let's hop into it and see what we gotta do. I'll show you around the whole joint. I may just be one of the casual players of Modern Warfare 3, but in one of my last videos, I showed you guys me using the ray gun. It just does not have audio due to was Res being Res, being the worst editor on the damn planet. So these two are my multiplayer loadouts. They're honestly okay. Same thing with like the Renetti here. Like I can show you what this would do. It's a 2-hit and good with recoil. Only thing, it's requires some good aim. So this would be your build for it. You guys can pause the video if you want to see the whole build, or if you want to just take a screenshot, you can do that. I'm not really a list for that. This one is also my main. I use this honestly just for like multiplayer in general. These are somewhat solid. These are some solid multiplayer loadouts. They're now FYI. Some of these builds sometimes don't perform like this in game, but for me, honestly, they do pretty well. So this is like good for like velocity and damage. So and same thing with the Renetti. So that would be like a damage combo that I would somewhat recommend. Then I have my friend the Cat AMR, this is my sniper loadout. So you can see like it does something like that. So as you can see, this is my build for it. It's more of like for aim down sight time ability. It would sacrifice some recoil, but if you're like a trick shotter that likes to use the Cat AMR a lot, this would be a more of a build for you. You can pause the video as well, or take a screenshot, or snippet, or whatever really works. As you see, I demonstrated it earlier. Yeah, pretty much that's what it's useful for. My quick shot aim is not the best. It's more of hard scoping. This is my Warzone loadout. So for the Ramp 7, I would honestly really recommend it, but it's more for like a side dish. It's more of like a side gun. That like if you need like a solid, good, decent gun to rely on, if your best gun runs out of ammo, this would be like a go-to. It's a primary weapon, so you would need to swap it out for like stuff in Warzone. Now, if you're in a 3-plate situation, that would be what it's useful for. It would be useful for recoil and somewhat of damage. It would really require like joystick drift, or if you play on the PC mouse like control, you would need to be in the zone. You would need to know what you're doing, be ready for all that. And if you want was a sidearms, I can introduce you to I've showed you that. Where is it? Okay, I'll save that for later. So I'm gonna go to is the build that I would really recommend. So this, my friend here, is the Wasp Swarm. This is a really unique Warzone build for it. That it's a meta gun right now, so it's done pretty well for itself. I would honestly really recommend this build due to was how much damage it can do, how much damage this thing can rack up. It performs a lot like it does perform here in Warzone. This would be good for like close range or mid range situations. It's not really recommended for mid to long. It's really useful in some of those like sticky situations to get in the final circle in Warzone. I would recommend it real bad. I would really just recommend it for how useful it is. If you want the build, here you go. This is the whole build for the Wasp Swarm. Like I said, you could take a picture, do what you gotta do. it'd be really recommended. That's what I would mainly recommend, and I'm gonna go to my Warzone loadouts, so I can show you some more of my Warzone loadouts that I would kind of recommend, more than likely recommend. So, as you can see, this is more of a side gun. I use this a lot more often. I would then like have this for close range, this for long range. Then I have the WZ 9, which does pretty good for itself. It's more of a multiplayer gun due to its high damage count and lower fire rate, but it's pretty good itself. So let me change the settings to 3 plates. And so if you need like a version of the Swarm that does a little bit better in medium to long range, this would be like a gun that I would recommend. It's better in medium range, not long. So like if you got a player somewhere around there, that would be really like decent. Now down to business. This is the build for it. You guys can like modify it or give me some recommendations if you guys like want to know. But yeah, just come down in the comment section and just give me like some like probably like some kind of advice, or like if you have like a build to recommend, just like message me. I have a Discord. I'll put my Discord in the link in the description, and bother me for that. Yeah, so this is an my XRX Stalker build. A lot of people some of you guys might not have it due to not a lot of people that play this game sometimes don't have the battle pass. Yeah, but this is like one of those guns where like I have a modified scope so that I can like see like this is like close range. If you're like sniping from mid range, if you're sniping from like mid to somewhat close, this would be like something I would recommend. And then if you want to do like if you're one of those people that take long range shots, boom. And this would be your build for it. The Bruin Agent 90 is the reason why I use it, so people don't know where they're being hit from. I would use the F-Tac Locust XP for what I do for the modifiers, so like I can modify my aim and what I'm doing. I would recommend it for multiple things, like when it comes to certain sniping situations. If you need like a loadout that's good for mobility, you can see right here, it does pretty good for itself. The only cost you would be costing yourself is some sort of recoil control. But luckily this build for the BAS-B kind of does what it does. If you're like one of those PC players or people that just like to do stuff like this like a lot, and also Xbox players and PlayStation players who kind of rely on your mobility, this would be something I would really recommend. Due to how easily you can move around with it and the aiming moving stability, but the only thing you're costing yourself here is the aiming stability. So if you're like one of those players that needs good accuracy, or if you just need if you just need to get better at the game, I would not recommend it if you're new to the game. I would recommend this if you know what you're doing and you have somewhat good aim. So it's not the best. It's the same thing with the build with the Renetti there, but I don't think I'm gonna showcase it. This is more of a recoil build for the SVA. As you can see, you can try it out for yourselves if you want. Take a picture or pause it. But it sacrifices mobility and aim down sight time in return for that. The SVA is a solid gun. It's just I do not think it's the best for Warzone. I wouldn't completely recommend it. But if you're like one of those people that plays it smart, go for it. Now I had a pyro build, which honestly, you know what I'm talking about here. Now I had a breacher loadout right here is where I showcased the WZ 9. This is like a more of an edited version I made of it, just to make it a bit more like stable. You can see I was the BAS-B and also the Striker 9. So as you can see, it does good in damage, and if you like the Striker 9's been nerfed into the ground a lot because of the fucking pros I always complain. Honestly, I would say that some of these builds are good, but the performance may be somewhat slowed in Warzone, so don't blame me. I'm just coming up with, just experimenting with some of these builds, knowing what I'm doing. My aim is not the best as it usually sometimes is, but I'm not the world's best player. So if you want the build for the Bass P, here, Bass B, not Bass P, got confused, sorry. Here it is. So you can see I have the Shadow Strike Suppressor, the Long Barrel, the Ravage, and the SCT grip with the 45 R&D. As you can see with the Striker 9, this is the build for it. I have the MK2 stock, the Attack grip, the 40 R&D, with the Elite Long Barrel and the Edge. Yes, so that has been the loadouts with your buddy Rez. There's also a bunch of new stuff that comes out into the shop. Honestly, some of it ain't worth the hassle, but you know, you also got stuff such as was the Midnight Run and the Infiltrator pack, which recently dropped. I don't not know why it's in here, but if I want to go to like operators, all I gotta do is find BBQ, and yep, Null Void is the skin's name. You can check that out. Some of these pack reviews, I'll review a bunch of packs later, but I'll give you my opinions on them. But until next time, my friends, see you later.